All right, let's get right into it. For years, self-driving cars have felt like this amazing promise, but the AI brain inside them has been a complete mystery, a total black box. Well, NVIDIA just smashed that box wide open. They've come up with a breakthrough that doesn't just make the car smarter, it actually teaches it to think out loud. And to really wrap your head around what they've done, you first have to understand the main problem they were trying to solve. And honestly, the best way to think about most of the self-driving AI out there today is to imagine you just handed your car keys to a very unpredictable teenager. So, yeah, let's start right there. What is it that makes these incredibly sophisticated systems, well, act like a teenager who just got their license? It really boils down to one simple question. Picture this. You're in the passenger seat. The car suddenly jerks to the left or slams on the brakes, and you turn and ask, "Whoa, why did you just do that?" With the old black box AIs, the answer you get is basically a shrug. It just does stuff. It sees the world, it spits out a command to the steering wheel, but there's no reason given. We have no clue why it makes the choices it does. But with NVIDIA's new system, when you ask why, it actually gives you a clear, logical reason. It's the difference between a random guess and a real, thought-out plan. And this ability right here, the power to explain itself, to essentially think out loud, is the absolute key to this whole thing. It is a total game changer. And get this, the words you're seeing here, that's not a summary from an engineer. No, that is a direct quote from the AI itself. It's not just driving, it's narrating its own decision-making process as it happens. I mean, that's just incredible. But here's the really crucial part. This isn't just about making us humans feel more comfortable in the passenger seat. The most important point is this. Forcing the AI to explain itself actually makes it a better, safer driver. And the results, they are just staggering. Just by making the AI think out loud, its rate of close encounters, those heart-stopping moments where you gasp and grab the dashboard, it dropped by a massive 25%. That is a huge leap in safety, and it's purely from adding this layer of reasoning. And the benefits just keep piling up. Now, when the car makes a mistake, we know exactly why, which means we can fix it way faster. It gets so much better at handling those bizarre one-in-a-million situations on the road, what engineers call the long-tail problem. And maybe the best part of all, they've made the code open source, so the entire community can build on this amazing breakthrough. Okay, but this whole thing leads to a brand new problem. How do you make sure the AI isn't just, making things up? How do you keep it honest? Well, NVIDIA's solution is pretty genius. They basically built it an AI lie detector. I mean, it's a totally fair question, right? What's to stop the AI from saying, "I'm stopping because of the red light," while it's actually flooring it to run through the intersection? So they solved this with a really clever technique. Now, the super technical name is reinforcement learning with a consistency reward, but a much, much better way to think about it is as a very strict driving instructor who is constantly looking over the AI's shoulder, making sure its actions line up with its words. Here's how it works in 4 simple steps. First, the AI says what it's about to do. Second, it does the thing. Third, the virtual instructor checks to see if the action actually matched the intention. And if they don't line up, the instructor basically says, "Nope, 0 points, try again." The AI literally cannot get a reward unless it's being honest. So now you've got this reasoning, honest AI. But how do you teach it enough about the real world to actually be safe? I mean, you can't just set it loose on the highway. No, you have to build it the ultimate driving school. The whole process started with data. A lot of data. The AI was first shown 700,000 different video clips of real-world driving situations. But it wasn't just passively watching. For every single one of those clips, it had to write what was basically a diary entry. It had to explain the cause and effect of what it was seeing. This is how it built that core muscle of reasoning right from the very beginning. So after it studied all those videos, it was time to practice. And for that, they built something called AlphaSim, which is essentially the most advanced, hyper-realistic driving video game ever created, designed specifically for an AI to learn in. This simulator is incredible. It uses this wild tech to build a world that looks almost identical to real life. It's the perfect, safe sandbox where the AI can crash, learn, and practice those weird, long tail scenarios over and over again without anyone getting hurt. It literally has to graduate from this simulator before it's ever allowed on a real street. Now, here's what's so fascinating to me. The process of building a better AI driver actually ends up revealing some really profound lessons for us humans. Because when you really break down what makes this AI so effective, you're not just looking at code. You're looking at the fundamentals of good decision-making, period. There are two huge takeaways here for our own lives. First, the AI drives better when it explains the cause before it acts. That's fantastic life advice, right? Instead of just reacting to a feeling like anger, force yourself to actually say, okay, I am angry because, and then decide what to do. And second, the AI is literally penalized when its actions don't match its words. It makes you stop and ask yourself, are we actually doing the things we say are important to us? And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. This AI has to live by what it says in order to succeed. It has an integrity check built right into its code. So maybe it's worth taking a look at our own lives, our own calendars. If an AI can learn to align its actions with its intentions, what's stopping us?